everybody, it's Uncle Paul, and there is just too much stuff in my first aid kit. Oh my goodness. Well, I am on my way back to Belton. I just dropped off my nephew Ethan in Gerald, Texas. He's spending the day with his girlfriend and her grandparents that don't live real far from Gerald, so that's where they meet halfway to pick him up. And so I don't mind the drive down. Oh, there's a highway patrol with his lights on stop. I got to move over according to the law. Hold on one moment. Okay. So, I like this drive down I-35, actually, especially since they've got all the construction done in this section from Belton to through Salado and to Gerald. And just because it's country, it's still a lot of farm fields and also just some family history here. Some of my family lived and grew up in this area, but my great-grandmother, one of the things she did to survive was she picked cotton. And many years ago, my uncle Bill, who was substantially older than my father and has since passed away, he would point out a little house just off, you could see from the interstate, and that was a house where he lived with my great-grandmother for a time, and they picked cotton right there in those fields years ago. So so I enjoy thinking about that as I drive through here, and it's pretty country. So, got one of the nephews is going to be gone today. The other one left Thursday. He's down in San Antonio. His girlfriend is graduating from the Air Force Academy there. And my brother and my sister-in-law, they left yesterday. They are in Arkansas to watch a game that my oldest nephew is playing, college football. So they should be back tonight. But anyway, Hurley and I have the house to ourselves for the day. It's been a pretty good week. I know I'm not going to lose quite as much this week. I went ahead and splurged and had some Halloween candy, and that's going to affect my weight loss, but we shall see Sunday morning. Okay, so here is, I think, everything that I keep in my first aid kit for backpacking. It's in a nice Ziploc. It's in a nice Z-Packs stuff sack, waterproof stuff sack, which I really like. So let's weigh this thing, see how much it weighs altogether. Okay, that is weighing in at 13.3 ounces. Okay, let me run through these real quickly, and I want your advice on changes I can make, and I'll mention those things as I go through of what I'd maybe like to know more about, or if you just have suggestions, even without me asking, of course, go ahead and make them, please. Okay, KT tape. I brought a good bit of it. I only used KT tape one time, and that was my last full day of hiking on the Appalachian Trail of that week, the day before I met up with Gucci Girl and Grumpy. Toward the end of the day, I started having hot spots on my feet. I put some tape on the bottom of my feet and my toes, and it just didn't stay. But there could have been any number of reasons for that. It didn't stay very well. So I'm in search of possibly some other kind of tape. Now the Aleve, I did have it in this bottle. I bought that in Kent I think, when I started really having the severe lower back issues. So I just never did. I didn't have an extra baggie like these right here to put them in. So I just had them in the bottle, but I would put them in a baggie. This right here is dental floss. I didn't know what else to carry it in other than the case it came in, and I kind of got it at last minute, and so I didn't want to mess with, and it seemed convenient, so I just left it there in that case. But it's, it's slightly heavy. I had 2 needles, 2 pretty good sized needles for in case I needed to fix the tent or something like that. This is some cream, ointment cream for skin irritation, bug bites. This is, I think, some kind of stomach medication right here, and I didn't know how many of these to take with me starting out. That's Benadryl. I don't know if I should keep them in these or try to put them in something else that's lighter. They're not very heavy. I may have brought too many at one time, but they can get expensive if you have to, restock, and you don't want to buy a whole bunch of them and carry too many anyway. But this is Tylenol. I carried a bunch. This was packed full, and when I started my AT shakedown hike, this is Benadryl. This is ibuprofen, and it was packed full. Now both of these, and I have notes in there of what they are and instructions, but I don't remember which is which now. One is my medicine, my antibiotic for in case I get bitten by a tick and have Lyme disease possibly. The other one is an antibiotic for some dental work that I had shortly before I went on the trip. You may remember that. And the doctor said, look, if you start having a problem, you'll want these. So I just packed both of those. So one of those, probably next time, I will be able to get rid of, well, the antibiotic for the tooth, most likely. That's my little toothpaste and my toothbrush. This is the toothbrush that comes with the thing that you slide it in, the little plastic canister. I just left that out and put both of them together in a plastic bag, as you see. Then, my finger, I had probably too many Band-Aids, but I had one that's real big as the package there. These are kind of regular size. I think I got like 3 or 4 of those, and these are the smaller size. I think there's, that's the big one. 2 big ones, and then 3 or 4 regular size ones, which is definitely all I would need at any one time. I'm sure probably more than I would need. This is Velcro for my gaiters that I was wearing, which I may not use in the future. We'll see. Then this was the patch kit for my Air Up sleeping system. Now, this right here, these are very important. This is Gold Bond powder, and this is the Gold Bond, as it says, friction defense. It's kind of like, I think, what's that stuff called, Glide or something like that. I decided to take this. I didn't know this existed until Smiling Don told me about it, and I took it instead of Vaseline because I couldn't find Vaseline other than a jar, which is kind of heavy and inconvenient with the lid. So I got that instead of the Glide stuff. This right here is very important. I use this every night when I went to bed. So I need to carry a decent amount, but this little canister, as you can guess, is heavy. So I need to find something else that will hold up, hopefully for a fairly long trip, and would be able to hold at least this much, but be lighter and convenient to use. If it had some kind of sprinkle top as well, I would like to find something like that, but that would be lighter than this yellow plastic container. This isn't too heavy, but once again, and I would apply that in the morning before I headed out in areas I thought might start to chafe. So, but I really do like to use, I've always used Vaseline or petroleum jelly, and I would like to find a container that I could just put some of that in, a light container, lightweight. So anyway, that's pretty much, guys, my my kit, and you saw how much it weighed. I need to bring that down. So if you have any helpful suggestions, I really would appreciate it. Good Sunday morning. Well, my alarm, I always have it set at 5 a.m. and I pretty much turned it off without even knowing about it. And by the time I woke up, it was 6:30 on my clock. And I thought, oh man, my video is going to be late. And so I went in there in the kitchen, I was making coffee, and then it hit me. Like, I think the time was supposed to change. I think the clocks were supposed to fall back this morning. And sure enough, got back into my room here and realized it was only 5:30. So I still didn't do too badly. That's pretty good. Well, this week I lost 1.6 pounds. And I'll take that. It's a loss. But I'm planning on changing up my diet this week. I'm still going to be low carb diet. I'm going to try eating less protein and more vegetables. I just want to shake things up a bit. That's something I try to do every now and then. So, and I'm going to focus on my Fitness Pal that I got a few weeks back and downloaded the app. And so so next week's video, I plan on talking a little bit about how I'm using that and what I think about it. So that's what we're talking about next week. Guys, thank you so much for your comments concerning last week's video and the trowel. There were some good ideas that I hadn't thought of, some types of trowels I'd never heard of, so I appreciate that. And as far as this first aid kit, I hope you have some suggestions on some lighter weight things and what I need or what I don't need, and how I can rearrange that. Because like I said before, it's a lot of the little things that I need to change up to affect my weight, because I really am not going to be able to afford a new tent or a new backpack. I like what I have. They're pretty lightweight, but I'm not going to have the funds to most likely to change those out. So I've got to affect that in different ways. So I'm looking forward to what you have to say this week as well. Guys, like I said, it's been a good week. I'm looking forward to next week being an even better week. I hope you have a good week as well, and see you next time.